All right, yo, reformed criminal here. Today make sure you can see me. Today, whoop, today we're inside the house. We're not outside today because my neighbor's out there, and I don't want to, whatever. So you want to know how to keep a job? This video can help you with that. You know. All right, so I'm gonna break it down real simple for you. It's not gonna be a whole lot. That seems to be the theme of my videos. It's not gonna be a whole lot. It's very simple. What I'm telling you to do to achieve whatever the title of the video is that day, they are going to be relatively simple steps that go into you achieving whatever it is that you want to achieve that day, whatever the title of the video is going to be. So you want to know how to keep your job. You're starting out in the work field, or you've been in there for a long time. It doesn't matter. You just want to know how to keep it, right? First, I want to let you know that it has nothing to do with your job. You know what I'm saying? It starts with you. If you want to keep the job, you got to start with you first. Don't even worry about the job. I don't care if you work at Goldman Sachs. I don't care if you work at McDonald's. I don't care if you work at an office or if you work in the sewers, draining sewage pipes. It don't matter. If you want to keep your job, it starts with you. Now the last video, I was telling you that three three things that you control about yourself. Three things that you can control, because you can't control anything else outside in the world. You can't control anything in the world. You can't do that. You can't control the world, but you can control yourself. And three things that you control inside yourself that will benefit you immensely in your life are your thoughts, your perspective, and your attitude. I want you to use those same things. So it's kind of like we're branching on from video two, for the second video, from the last video. We're branching on into this. That's how you know that them three simple things I told you about. Having positive thoughts, having positive perspectives, and having a positive attitude. It can go into anything. It works with everything. You know. So having that positive attitude, having that positive perspective, and having those positive thoughts is what's gonna help you with you keeping your job. You know, if you're gonna wake up and be like, oh, I don't want to go to work, blah 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 blah. Susie or Mike at the job is getting on my nerves, and my manager don't. Uh, Sometimes I be working two people's positions, and they'll be giving me no. You gotta change your perspective. You know, first of all, let's start with the thoughts. Let me slow it down. Let me start with the thoughts. Let's go back to, like I was saying, you wake up and you're like, oh, I gotta go to work. I don't want to go to. Change your thoughts. Don't think like that. When you wake up, you gotta be blessed that you got a job. Be blessed that you have a job. Period. Because there's a whole lot of situations that could happen in life that may prevent you from having a job. Period. No matter how bad you want one. you know there are situations that can happen in your life that make McDonald's look like it's Goldman Sachs, like it's a bank job. Sometimes life happens. Well, life happens all the time. So you gotta be appreciative that you have a job. Period. You gotta change that thought from like, oh, I just got off work last night and they need me to come in. You need to be grateful that you can go into work. If you work, you eat. Think about it that way. You don't work, you don't eat. You can't feed. If you have other people in your family, in your house, if you don't work, you can't eat and you can't feed. Change your thought pattern. Don't be like, oh, I gotta go work of 8 hours. No, be appreciative. You work, that means you gonna keep that roof over your head. That means you keep the gas inside your car. That means you keep a lineup or a hairdo on your head. You know, change the thoughts. Number two, perspective. Let's say you work in two people's positions. You at your job and someone's slacking and you got to pick up for them. Instead of you be like, oh, I hate always having to do extra for them, and no, you need to be grateful. God is giving you a gift right there, because He's giving you more than you thought you could. That He's giving you more than you thought you could handle. Excuse me. He's giving you more than you thought you can handle. And in that moment, you may be frustrated, but you're doing it. You're doing it, right? But you shouldn't be frustrated. You should lose all kinds of frustration. You should lose all emotions. But that's a different video. You should be happy. Like, okay, now I know I can handle more than one. I can handle more than my position. That should give you more ammunition, and that should give you more drive. Like, yo, I got this. Can nothing unsettle me. I can handle more than I thought I was capable of. That should be your first step. You shouldn't be, oh, I gotta do his and then I gotta do her. No, be like, okay, this is where I get to prove myself. This is where I get to show out. You feel what I'm saying? You get to be like, okay, at the end of that work day, you had to cover two people's whatever's. Yo, you the man, you the woman, whatever. You can do it. That should be your motivation to prove yourself that you can do more than you thought you was capable of. That's gonna help you in other aspects of your life. You're not gonna go into anything like, oh, I mean, I don't know if I can. No, you be like, you're gonna look back on an instance where you had to cover two people's shifts or cover two people's positions and be like, yo, I was able to do that. So this little problem that's coming up now, or this new challenge that's in my life now, I know I can knock it out the park. That should be your mindset. So you gotta change your perspective. Don't be having a victim perspective. Have a conqueror's perspective, or a optimistic. When you're optimistic, that's more or less, you see a challenge as a positive thing. You don't see it as a negative thing. You feel what I'm saying? An optimistic person would be like, okay, I see all these orders on the screen. Let's say you work fast food. I see all these orders on the screen. An optimistic person would be like, yo, this gives me a chance to test myself and to prove to these customers that who they come to give their money to is more than capable of handling whatever they task you with. You know what I'm saying? But a person that's not optimistic, they're gonna look at all those orders on the screen and they're gonna be quivering, shaking in their boots, looking a mess, already defeating themselves in their mind. Like, oh man, I know I can't do this. Oh man, why? Oh man, I don't even know why. Man, you don't want to be that kind of person, because other people don't want to see that. Would you feel happy in the hands of someone that thought like, oh, I don't know if we can do this? Or would you rather be in the hands of someone that said, you know what, we got this. If you don't got it, I got it. Which would you rather have around you, or which would you rather be? You got to change that perspective. All right, so 3, you got to change your attitude. When it's the 8th hour of the day, or if you have a nagging, overbearing, doing too much type of boss or co-worker, you have to change your attitude about how you deal with them. You're not supposed to be emotional anyway. You know what I'm saying? Those emotions they'll mess you up. If you have anger, if you have frustration, if you have those kind of things, I can't think of any other stuff. I'm sorry, but if you have that anger, frustration, stuff like that, that's always gonna hurt you. When you're clouded by that anger and frustration, you miss what's really going on. It's like being high or something. You lose consciousness when you're angry. You don't think straight. You don't think properly when you're angry. You just don't. It's impossible to. It's impossible to. You gotta change your attitude. If someone's coming to you and you know, oh man, they're gonna be cool. Give it up to God. Just give it up to God. Shoot, look at Jesus. Speaking of God, look at Jesus. You think if Jesus was angry that everybody didn't like him, or was angry that everyone that he tried to help wasn't appreciative, or was angry that everyone that he tried to give advice to was secretly thinking about how to stab him in the back? You think if he got angry, we'd all be saved? Man, the earth wouldn't have lasted. He would have said, hey, God, Dad, send all kinds of tsunamis and let all the volcanoes blow up and let all the winds blow and let all the thunderstorms strike and let all the lightning strike and mess this place up. You wouldn't have even seen this day had he been angry back then. You gotta change your attitude. You know, life is always going to be life. You gotta change your attitude about it. You gotta welcome adversity. You gotta welcome you gotta welcome challenge. You know, you gotta welcome difficulty. That's what I was looking for. Difficulty. That's all a part of life. You just gotta you gotta welcome it, and you gotta take whatever that's supposed to come in negative and send it out positive. You gotta change your attitude. Have a good attitude. Have a positive attitude. That's gonna take you so far, so long. With any job you got, with any person you deal with any situation that you're in. Having a positive attitude, bro, that goes miles. It goes miles. It goes so far. If you have children, having a positive attitude goes far. If you're filling yourself with positivity, that's what you're gonna give out. If you find yourself getting angry and stuff like that, that means you have hatred in your heart, and you gotta check yourself. That's you literally telling yourself, and the other person that you're probably yelling at, that you have anger in your heart. If you get angry at them, that's how you know you have hatred in your heart. And you can't have love if you have hatred. You feel what I'm saying? It just don't work. So you gotta check yourself. Have the right kind of attitude. Having a positive attitude goes miles. And yeah, I mean, if you want to keep your job, it's as simple as that. Have good thoughts, positive thoughts. Have a positive perspective, and have a positive attitude. Simple. And you got to keep doing it. It can't be one day you have a positive mind, and then the next day you just everywhere. You got to be consistent. That's important too. You have to be consistent with it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Until the next video, that's the truth. Peace.